Hello everyone, and welcome to the first day of the Holiday Break Activity Kit series. My name is Landon Calderwood, and I am the Youth Outreach Coordinator here at the West Potawatomi County Extension Office. Our activity to kick off our series is called Bubbling Snowmen. And for this activity, we just need a few different tools and ingredients to get us started. So before you get started, make sure that you have liquid dish soap, some baking soda, vinegar, water, 2 separate bowls with their own spoon for each of them, a 1 cup measuring cup, and then a 1 tablespoon and a 1 teaspoon measuring spoons. Go ahead and start by measuring 1 cup of baking soda into each of the bowls. Baking soda, also called sodium bicarbonate, is what is called a base substance. When introduced to a watery solution, bases are very slippery to the touch and are bitter to taste. They are often used in cleaning products like soap and toothpaste. Once you have added your baking soda, get your 1 tablespoon measuring spoon and your water and measure 3 tablespoons into each bowl. After you've added your water, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of liquid dish soap to only one of our bowls. You'll want to make sure to remember which bowl you added your dish soap to. Since I used a blue dish soap, I will easily be able to tell which bowl I added the soap to. When you are done mixing one of the bowls, you will know that it's done when you can reach your hand in and grab some of the mixture and mold it into a shape just like that. So I was able to squish it just with my hand. When I barely push on it, I see that my mixture cracks into a bunch of pieces. And so that means that I need to add just a little bit more water. Let's look at some of the differences between our 2 mixtures that we have made. So over here, we have our mixture of just baking soda and water. So when I looked at it and when I was mixing it up, it was a lot harder to make sure to get everything mixed together so that it would stick together. See, when I kind of group it up with my spoon into a little blob like this, it's very easily broken and it just kind of cracks. And so when I pick up and kind of form a piece in my hand just by squishing it together, I can hold it up here and it breaks very easily. And if I try to stick it back together, it does not want to stay together. And so that is our dough with just baking soda and water. Over here, we have our dough of baking soda, dish soap, and water. And we can see that it's a little bit blue because of the dish soap that I used. When we mix this up, I noticed that it's a lot easier to smooth out with the spoon. So when I smooth over it, it all sticks together and creates a very smooth surface. And when I pick some of it up with my hands and form it into a shape, just give it a squeeze, I can tell that it's a lot softer than the mixture of just baking soda and water. And then when I break it, it's a little bit harder to break. It likes to hold on to each other. And then when I put it back together, it sticks together. So just to review, our first dough of just baking soda and water is a little bit more coarse. We can feel the grain of the baking soda in the mixture. And it breaks apart easily, and it does not like to stick back together. In our mixture with dish soap and water and baking soda, it's very smooth, it mixes up easier, and when we break it apart, it likes to stick back together to itself. Once you have finished mixing both of your mixtures, you can decide to make any kind of sculpture that you would like. A snowman, a dog, or maybe even a tree. Whatever you would like to mold your mixtures into. I'm going to make mine on 2 different plates. But you can make them in the bowl or on any other kind of surface that you would like, as long as you are okay with pouring vinegar onto that surface. Once you have finished building your sculptures of a snowman or whatever else you chose, you may choose to decorate it. I'm going to decorate one of my snowmen with a little hat that I made just out of paper and some tape. And he looks a bit chilly, so I'm going to give him a scarf that I just cut a piece of yarn from. And I'm even going to give him some arms with a toothpick that I split in half. And there you go. There are my 2 snowmen. Next, we're going to see what happens when we add vinegar to these 2 different mixtures. Vinegar is a diluted kind of acid called acetic acid. Acids are substances that occur all around us, like in citrus fruits such as lemons and oranges, and are also found in our bodies. Now comes the fun part, where we get to add the vinegar. For our first test, we're going to use the snowman that we just added water to the baking soda. When we pour the vinegar over the snowman, observe what happens when the vinegar hits the baking soda. We're going to repeat the same experiment that we did with the first snowman on our second snowman. So this one, we can see that it looks a little bit blue because I added blue dish soap to it. So remember what our first reaction looked like when we poured the vinegar over, and then compare it to what it looks like when we pour vinegar over our second snow sculpture. When we look at both of our sculptures after we've poured vinegar over them, we see that we had 2 very different reactions. In our sculpture with just water and baking soda, the bubbles were very large and they popped very quickly. And then in our second experiment, the one with baking soda, dish soap, and water, we saw that there were a bunch of small bubbles that created kind of a foam when we poured vinegar over our snowman. We witnessed surfactants at work. Surfactants, or surface active agents, lower the surface tension of liquid so that the bubbles don't burst as easily as they would if there was no soap. In this activity, when the soap spreads out over the liquid, or the vinegar that we poured over it, the gas being released from the acid-base chemical, or our vinegar, becomes trapped in the air bubbles and produces the foam.